Alright, so we're going to be talking about simplifying rational expressions in this video, and this is really similar to simplifying fractions. So you might notice that there is a parallel here with simplifying fractions and simplifying rational expressions. So here's some tips. First, you want to always factor. So factor as much as you possibly can, and then once you're done with that, you can divide out any common factors that you have, and then you should have a simplified rational expression. So to kind of show you this, I'm going to work this example out right here. So here we go. Just a piece of advice: try to follow these tips right here. So try to solve this simplification problem right here. So you might want to pause the video right now, try to solve it, and then when you're done solving it, hit play, and then watch me solve it and follow along with your paper just to make sure that you did the right thing. So here we go. Pause it right here. All right, so the first thing we want to do is factor everything out. So for this top one, I noticed that everything is divisible by 3, so I'm going to factor out a 3 from the polynomial. So you'll have x squared plus x minus 20 at the top. And then this bottom one I can factor out a 6 from each of these terms, and you'll end up with 6 times the quantity x squared minus 11x plus 28. Now right away you can see we have a 3 over 6, so we can divide out common factors. The common factor here would be 3, so I'm going to divide this by 3 and divide this by 3, so 3 over 6 is the same as 1 over 2. Okay, now I'm going to simplify this. Now right here, I'm going to try to factor out this x squared plus x minus 20. So you have to think of two numbers that multiply to get negative 20 and add to get 1. So hopefully you got that the numbers should be x plus 5 times the quantity x minus 5 up top. And then I'm going to be dividing all this by this 2. And then factor this out. You need two numbers that add to multiply to get 28 and add to get negative 11. So those two numbers would be this minus 7, x minus 7, and x minus 4. Okay. Hopefully you see that the common factor from the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, is this x minus 4. So those both cancel out to 1 over 1, and you end up with a simplified rational expression of x plus 5 over 2 times the quantity x minus 7. Now if you wanted, you could distribute this if you think that it's more simplified that way, but I would also count this as right too. Now it's also important to check your work on this, and one of the easiest ways to check your work is by just plugging something in for x up in this expression, and then plugging in something for x in this expression, and seeing if you get the right answer. Now the number that I would recommend plugging in would be 0, just because it makes your life a lot easier. If I plug 0 in here, I have 0 plus 5 is 5 divided by 2 times 0 minus 7. So 0 minus 7 is negative 7 times 2. So you'll have 5 divided by negative 14. Okay, let's plug 0 in here. This term goes away, this term goes away, so you'll have negative 60. This term would go away, this term would go away if x was equal to 0, and you'd have 168. So you can just do negative 60 divided by 168, and you would get negative 5 over 14, which is the same thing as I have here. So this negative 60 divided by 168, if you simplified that fraction, it'd be the same as the 5 divided by negative 14. So that's a great way to check your work, but your answer would be this right here for the simplified rational expression. So if you have any questions about this, let me know.